The Pandemonium Institute has a title that has me very excited, and I want to tell you all about it. Blood on the Clocktower. This is for 5 to 20 players, ages 15 and up, and could take you between 30 and 180 minutes. In the quiet village of Ravenswood Bluff, a demon walks amongst you. During a hellish thunderstorm on the stroke of midnight, there echoes a bone-chilling scream. The townsfolk rush to investigate and find the town storyteller murdered, their body impaled on the hands of the clock tower, blood dripping onto the cobblestone below. A demon is on the loose, murdering by night and disguised in human form by day. Some have scraps of information. Others have abilities that fight the evil or protect the innocent. But the demon and its evil minions are spreading lies to confuse and breed suspicion. Will the good townsfolk put the puzzle together in time to execute the true demon and save themselves? Or will evil overrun this once peaceful village? Blood on the Clocktower is a bluffing game enjoyed by 5 to 20 players on opposing teams of good and evil, overseen by a storyteller player who conducts the action and makes crucial decisions. During a day phase, players socialize openly and whisper privately to trade knowledge or spread lies, culminating in a player's execution if a majority suspects him of being evil. During the nighttime, players close their eyes and are woken one at a time by the storyteller to gather information, spread mischief, or to kill. The storyteller uses the game's intricate playing pieces to guide each game, leaving others free to play without a table or board. Players stay in the thick of the action to the very end, even if their characters are killed, haunting Ravenswood Bluff as ghosts, trying to win from beyond the grave. If you arrive late to a game, you can enter it after it's already started as a powerful traveler character with unusual talents and questionable allegiances. Each character comes with their own special ability, and no 2 players in a game are ever the same character. That's a good, powerful write-up, I feel. And it's more than this. I had seen videos. Me and my wife saw videos while this was actually right after the Kickstarter had finished. We came across this and got a chance to back it as late backers. We were so happy we did that. And now waiting for the game. Actually, by the time this video drops, it may have already gotten here. But the excitement of everything that we heard, saw, and read about the game was enough that we knew we wanted it. So all of this I want to tell you about, because this, if you like social deduction games with a little bit of a horror flair to them, a little bit of mob rules at times, then I want you to know more about this game. So yeah, right off the bat, even if you die, you're not out of the game. And as far as games like Mafia and Werewolf go, that's almost always a really tough point in the game. Most often, a lot of the games don't address the fact that once you die, you're out of it. It's elimination style gaming, and if you're the first person in a game that's going to run, an hour, that sucks. So, having dealt with it by you're a ghost, and you still get to vote, even if you don't get to make accusations, your vote still counts. What you see, learn, and know is going to be important. That's an amazing fact. They right there took out that whole aspect. One of the worst aspects of these games is elimination. They've already taken it out, and you can play through the entire game, live or die. Now, a lot of times these games have a moderator whose job is kind of like a referee in a boxing match. If the game goes very smooth, you're going to have very little interaction with the moderator. The moderator is going to be in the background, except during, the points that the moderator is needed to be there. Then she or he will, be prominent in the game. But with this style, everything that we've seen, everything we've read, heard, this is more of a dungeon master or game master than it is a referee, a moderator style. And that's why they call it a storyteller. Much like the World of Darkness games by White Wolf. The game master, the DM in that was called a storyteller, and that's the same point in this game. The storyteller in the game is very important because they're going to be moving so many pieces around their figurative chessboard, so to speak, while the game is going on. It is a much deeper role than the typical moderator in a mafia or werewolf style game. And I believe going into this, you're going to have to be or know someone in your gaming group who is good at that style, that can be a dungeon master. And they're going to make probably the best storyteller for the game. But hey, maybe this is your turn to finally step in, and instead of being a player, you can take the active role as a storyteller. Who knows? But it is a bigger role than most of these games have. Now, one point that seems to run through a lot of things that I've heard and come across about this game, I think can be encapsulated in the concept that this game is made, the play style itself is made to build a unique experience for each and every player. Now, this happens because of your own personal view, your experience, your character's experience during the game, what you are told from other players, what they know, whether it's a lie, whether it's just false and they think it's true, or whether it is actually true. This is a social deduction game. Players don't know necessarily if their knowledge is true or false. You have to put this all together, and it's through your viewpoint, your point of view, your perspective that these individual experiences happen. And because of that, every time you play the game, even if you play the same character, the same type, it's always going to be a unique experience because of the interaction that you have with everyone else. A lot of games don't deliver that. Now, each scenario itself, there's four or three that come with the base game. These have so much replayability because of the massive amount of roles that are that populate this game. The possibilities that you have are mind-boggling. So you could play the same scenario over and over and over again, even with the same group of players, and you're going to have a different experience every single time. The replayability seems to me to be almost infinite for this game. Now, keep in mind, you are going to need the right group of players, and you know what I mean. You know, some players enjoy different style of games more than others. Some of them love deck-building games, and some of them like Ameritrash games. So I'm not pointing fingers at anyone. I'm just pointing out that there are different preferences that board gamers have, tabletop gamers have. So make sure you're playing with the right group of people that enjoy social deduction games, mob rule mentality kind of games, individuals that can take accusations and not take it personally, that it's the character, it's the game. These are things you're going to have to keep in mind. But if you have the right group of players for this, 5 or 6 at least minimum, then yeah, go for it. You're going to really love this game because it is going to bring all of that to the table. The social deduction, mob mentality, mystery, horror, and an RPG sort of ness to it. You know, with the right group really playing out the roles of this can bring the game to even bigger, different life. It's amazingly fun. Unlike a lot of the social deduction games that have come before this, as I've been saying, the mafia style, werewolf style games, this one has a sense to it that every single role that you could possibly have in this game, and there are tons of them, they all have their own special secret or ability that's going to make them unique and different. Every single one of them is bringing something to the table, quite figuratively and literally. Now, if you are familiar, whether you watch it or not, if you are familiar with the concept of these reality survivor style games, shows, then you're going to understand what I'm going to say next. During a game like this, alliances are going to form. It's natural. It happens. It's a great study of human psychology, a game like this. So keep that in mind. That's something that if you don't find fun it's really going to bother you about this game. But if it's something that does pique your interest, or you know for a fact is something right up your alley, then keep in mind, this is delivering it in spades. This game brings it to the brim of the cup and pours over it. One of the things in the description that I really love, and I'd come across it in other reviews about this game, is the fact that they have this type of character called a traveler. So you ever set up a game day at a certain time, in a certain place, your place, and you invite your friends over, your gaming gang, and there's always one or two individuals, maybe they're a couple, maybe they're just separate, but there's always one or two that show up late. There's always a couple that'll be there 30 minutes, 45 minutes late maybe. What are you going to do? Most times you either play a quick filler game until they get there, or you have to hold off the big main game for the evening. And in this game, you don't got to worry about that. That's the role of the traveler character in this game. So your buddy's going to be late again for the umpteenth time. Well, you and everyone else don't have to bother waiting around. Choose your roles, get the storyteller ready, have him or her set everything up, and you're ready to go. And if your buddy shows up 20 minutes late, who cares? They get a traveler character. And this also makes to an interesting dynamic, especially the later the traveler shows up, because at this point, alliances and trusts have already been set up by the other players in the village. And now you literally, truly have an outsider coming in the middle of all this action, of all these nightly murders. On the one hand, sure, maybe they know he or she can't be the demon since they showed up late, but it doesn't mean they're not involved with the demon, some sort of minion or helper. Maybe they're not, but you're not going to know. There is no base of trust with the traveler. That makes things very, very interesting. You know, and the final point, which was also made in the description of the game, is the fact, and I mentioned it earlier too, and I just want to come back to it because I think it is so important, is that the dead still play. You don't get eliminated. You can show up late. You're not going to disrupt the game. You can die, and it's not going to kick you out of the game. Two huge problems solved. Solved. So please go. You'll find more information on this. I hope to have more videos up on this subject, maybe some playthroughs, or at least maybe get some players talking about it. I definitely want to talk about this game, bring you more information on it. But for right now, there's tons of videos, tons of reviewers that have talked about this, discussed this, covered this. Go get more information. Because I think that if you're even slightly interested, you just need a little more information, and that's going to push you over the edge. To either buy this game or find someone that has it, or maybe some gaming club or cafe that runs Blood on the Clocktower evenings. Go look for one of these, and you're going to enjoy yourself. Go by Pandemonium Institute. Check out Blood on the Clocktower.